The Mary Celeste remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in maritime history. The abandoned ship was found adrift off the coast of Portugal in 1872 with no sign of crew or passengers. What happened to them remains a mystery, with theories ranging from piracy to supernatural forces. Join us as we delve into the mysterious case of Mary Celeste and attempt to uncover the truth behind its strange abandonment. The Curse of Mary Celeste. The story of Mary Celeste is a mysterious one in which the crew of the ship went missing and were never found. The ship sailed on its own towards the coast of Europe. The journey is filled with secrets, deception, and lost souls. It's suggested to be careful when watching a video about it and maybe keep the lights on. The ship was originally called the Amazon, built in 1861 in Canada. There are many ghost stories about the Amazon region of South America, and those will be discussed later. The focus is on the ship that became the Mary Celeste and whether it was cursed from the beginning. From the start, it appeared to be doomed. On its first voyage, the captain fell ill with coughing, shortness of breath, and fever. The crew tried to hide their concern, but every time the captain gave orders, he would have a coughing fit. Rumors spread among the crew that when he pulled out his handkerchief, it was covered in blood. The captain eventually died of pneumonia during the voyage, and some believed his spirit became incorporated into the ship's wood. Mary Celeste, Tragic History, 1867. In 1867, Mary Celeste encountered another misfortune. The crew had run aground in Cow Bay near Nova Scotia, causing damage to the ship's hull. It was brought to a shipyard for repairs. However, soon after this incident, the ship collided with another vessel in the English Channel, adding to its list of misfortunes. The current owners, fed up with the ship's curse, sold it to an American named Richard W. Haynes. He renamed the ship Mary Celeste and made changes to its structure to make it seaworthy again. The past events of the ship made people uneasy, which may have been why Haynes eventually decided to sell it. It was then bought by Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs, under whose command the crew of the ship went missing without a trace. The unsolved disappearance of the Mary Celeste crew. The Mary Celeste embarked on a journey from New York Harbor to Genoa, Italy on November 7, 1872. The crew consisted of Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs, his wife and daughter, and 7 other crew members. The ship was carrying 1,700 barrels of crude alcohol to transport to Europe. However, after the ship left in New York City, no one from the crew was ever heard from again. The ship sailed across the Atlantic without any issues, according to the evidence and logs found later on the ship. The mystery of Mary Celeste remains unsolved. On December 4, 1872, the Mary Celeste was found drifting off the coast of the Azores Islands, located approximately 930 miles or 1,500 kilometers west of Portugal, with all 10 members of the crew missing. The British vessel Dei Gratia, captained by David Morehouse, spotted the Mary Celeste and found it to be sailing aimlessly and erratically. When they boarded the ship, they found no one on board and all of the cargo was still intact. Navigational instruments were still operational, but there were a few broken casks of alcohol, a missing lifeboat, and frayed rope trailing behind the ship. The investigation by Frederick Solly Flood, the Attorney General in London, concluded that there had been no foul play on the part of the Dei Gratia crew, but the salvagers did not receive the full worth of the ship and cargo. Many theories have been suggested as to what happened to the crew, but there's no conclusive evidence to prove any one theory is correct. A tale of giant tentacles, pirates, and vengeful ex-slaves. On November 25, 1872, a few weeks after departing from New York, something terrible occurred. Land was spotted ahead and the captain recorded it in the log. However, a giant tentacle suddenly emerged from the water and dragged the crew into the depths. The crew's screams filled the air until they were silenced by the cold water. The narrator attempted to find shelter, but was pulled overboard by a suction cup. The entire crew was lost to the ocean as they were consumed by a sea monster, leaving the rest of the ship untouched. This theory of what happened to the Mary Celeste is unlikely. Another theory is that pirates attacked the ship and captured or killed the crew, stealing a lifeboat and water pump, but leaving the rest of the cargo. This theory is also unlikely. The story of the Mary Celeste was well known in the 1800s, and even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle tried to explain the crew's disappearance in his short story J. Habakkuk Jeffson's Statement, where he attributed it to a vengeful ex-slave who snuck aboard the ship, killed the passengers, and stole a lifeboat. However, this story is fictional and led to more legends and theories. It's still suggested to focus on more plausible theories. The mysterious loss of Mary Celeste. On November 25, 1872, as the sun rose, an individual on the ship spotted land and shouted, "Land ho!" The crew woke up, but as they went to the top of the deck, the captain noticed the smell of alcohol fumes. It was discovered that there was a leak in the containers. The captain immediately ordered the crew to abandon ship, as the alcohol fumes were dangerous and explosive inside the closed-off hull of the vessel. To avoid the risk of the ship exploding, the crew piled into a lifeboat and descended into the choppy ocean water, tying a rope to the ship to prevent the lifeboat from drifting too far. The plan was to reboard the ship once it had aired out. However, due to the bad weather or a faulty rope, the rope broke and the lifeboat drifted out into the Atlantic, never to be seen again. Alternatively, as the weeks passed by, the crew became restless from the monotony of only seeing open ocean and the same 9 faces on the ship. The temptation to consume the casks of denatured alcohol, despite the risk of blindness, became increasingly strong as a means to escape boredom. Eventually, the decision was made to mutiny and take control of the ship, but the new captain wasn't as prepared as thought and lacked knowledge of navigation and how to captain the ship. This led to further unease among the crew. Just when things seemed to be at their worst, land was spotted. The crew was ordered into a lifeboat to row to the island, but they were lost to the currents and never heard from again. The theory with the most evidence for the loss of the crew on the Mary Celeste is suggested by Anne McGregor, who created the Smithsonian documentary The True Story of the Mary Celeste. McGregor and her team used ship logs and computer modeling to show that the crew likely died due to a navigation error. They found that the ship was 120 miles off course when it was abandoned, possibly due to a series of issues on the ship, such as a malfunctioning water pipe and inaccurate maps. Bad weather may have also contributed to the crew's decision to abandon ship. The ship was later sold and sailed under different captains for 12 years before being intentionally run aground by its final captain for insurance fraud. However, the possibility exists that the captain was haunted by the spirits of the lost crew and wanted to destroy the ship to prevent it from haunting others. The fate of the ship and crew remains a mystery, but the Mary Celeste is known as a ghost ship due to its mysterious discovery with no crew on board. Leave your theories in the comments. So there you have it. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos. Until next time.